In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to set up your testing environment. Make sure to watch this video carefully and follow all the steps I'm going to show you because there are a few libraries we need to install and then we need to apply a couple of configurations. But don't worry, it's not that difficult. Just follow these steps carefully. So here in the terminal window, let's install Jest. This is a popular testing framework built by Facebook. It's actually built on top of Jasmine. So if you have used Jasmine before, you know how to use Jest. The next library is @types/Jest. This brings IntelliSense for using Jest in VS Code. So when we're writing code, we get code completion, tooltips, and so on. The next library is @babel/core. This is the core of Babel, which is a tool for converting modern JavaScript code into backward compatible code that most browsers and environments can understand. The next library is @babel/preset-env. What is this? Well, in modern JavaScript, we have a few different features. We have import statements, we have the spread operator, we have default arguments, and so on. Each of these features is implemented in Babel as a plugin. A preset is a collection of plugins. So by installing this preset, we can use all these modern JavaScript features without having to manually import different plugins, okay? And finally, the last library is Babel-Jest, which is the Babel Jest plugin. Now, we want to make sure to install all these dependencies as development dependencies. So here we type -D. All right, all these libraries are installed. Now, if you look at package.json, you can see all these libraries are installed as development dependencies because these are purely used for testing. We don't want to ship them with our application, okay? Now, next we need to go to the root of our project. Over here, we add a new file called babel.config.json. So make sure to put this in the root of the project. So it's outside of the source folder, right next to webpack.config.js, okay? Now, in this file, we want to add an object with a property called presets. So here we want to tell Babel that we're going to use the preset that we just installed. So in this array, we add a string @babel/preset-env. Save the changes. Next, we create a basic test file. So here in the source folder, I'm going to add a new file called math.spec.js. So if a file has the word spec in it, it means it's a test file. Now, what is this math here? This is a test file for a math module we're going to build in the next lesson, okay? So in this test file, let's write a very basic test. So the Jest framework that we just installed gives us a function called it, and we use this to define a test. So we call it, as the first argument, we specify the name of our test. Let's say first test. As the second argument, we pass a test function. This is the function that contains the code of our test. So here I'm going to pass a very simple error function. For now, we just want to make sure that we have set up everything correctly. So save the changes. Now in the terminal window, let's run Jest. So Jest ran our test and we got a green tick that indicates a passing test. Beautiful. Now, if you run Jest with the watch switch, Jest is going to monitor our files for changes. So every time we change our source code, Jest is going to rerun all of our tests. This is very useful in development because we don't want to manually run Jest every time we modify our code, okay? However, in this lesson, I'm not going to be able to show you how this works because my project is on Dropbox. And if you run Jest with the watch switch on Dropbox, it loops forever. It goes crazy. So make sure your project is not on Dropbox, okay? Now, to make our life easier, we're going to go to package.json. And here in the script section, we're going to add a new command called test. So when we run npm test, we want Jest to be run with the watch switch, okay? Now we can run npm test, and this will run Jest in the watch mode. All right, we're done with our setup. Next, I'm going to show you how to write your first test.